How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about who's going to win the Formula 1 2021 driver standing. So in this video I'm going to be talking about who's going to come 20th position and who's going to be the champion. So let's get right into the video.
So guys, who do I think is going to come 20th position in the driver standings? I think it's going to be Nikita Mazepin. Let me explain why. I think with Nikita Mazepin, he's a bit too reckless and he's a bit inexperienced. In Formula 2, he would always try to do too much in too many corners. Where in corners where you can't overtake, he'll try to overtake. And I think that's going to be the downfall of him. And something else that I really believe, which is not Nikita Mazepin's fault, is that the ASCA which they bought from last year is not really that good. See, they struggled. Like, they're two experienced drivers in Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, and they couldn't get the best of the machine. So I think Nikita Mazepin ain't gonna get it. So I think that's why he's gonna come 20th position.
Guys, who do I think is gonna come 19th position? In 19th position, I'm gonna go with Mick Schumacher. Let me explain why. The first reason why I think Mick Schumacher is coming 19th position, it always takes 1 year to get used to his car, and I think his first season being in Formula 1, I don't have high expectation. I think he's still gonna do better than Nikita Mazepin because Nikita Mazepin ain't the best driver. But I think with Mick Schumacher, he has good potential. I think he can be as good as his dad or even better. And I think with Mick Schumacher, he's not being put in the best car. The ASCA is coming with the one from last year, and Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen struggled in that car, so ain't gonna be easy. But let's move on to 18th position. Who do I think is going to come 18th position in the driver standings? I think it's going to be Nicholas Latifi. There ain't much reason why I think he's going to come 18th position. 18th position just seems right for him. Like, he's had glimpses where he's actually looked very good with the Williams, but with Nicholas Latifi, like 10 years ago, he was the next person to be in Formula 1, but him crashing, him having a few problems has just led to him just being with the Williams car, which is not that great. The Williams car is coming again from the 2020 season, and I think with Nicholas Latifi, he ain't the best driver, so with him I think 18th position seems right. I think I would have put him lower, but because of the new two drivers coming from us of Nikita Mazepin and Mick Schumacher, and I think him having the experience over them, that's why I put him in 18th position. So who do I think is going to come in 17th position? In 17th position, I'm going with Kimi Raikkonen. With Kimi Raikkonen, yes, he won his championship with Ferrari, but he's just a bit too old now, and he's just a bit worn out. Yes, when he actually tries, he can get some crucial points, but I just think he's just towards the end of his career, and I just think he just doesn't have enough gas or juice left in him to get any further up than 17th position. But in 16th position, I'm going with Giovinazzi. And I think Giovinazzi is a great driver for Alfa Romeo. But I just think Alfa Romeo is just not a good enough machine to catch up to the AlphaTauri. I think they're just good enough to beat As and Williams, but to catch up to AlphaTauri ain't going to be enough for them. And I think Giovinazzi is a great driver, but I just think the machine of AlphaTauri is just laying him down. So that's why I'm going in with 17th position for Kimi Raikkonen and 16th position for Giovinazzi. So who do I think is coming in 15th position? I think it's going to be George Russell. I think George Russell is a great talented driver. We saw what he did with the Mercedes last year. He nearly won the Grand Prix. He's so good, but with the Williams car, it's just the hunk of shit. There's a reason why Claire Williams sold the company. She just had enough. But I think George Russell's with raw skills just going to be enough for him to get 15th position in the driver's standing. In 14th position, I think it's going to be Yuki Tsunoda, the new driver for AlphaTauri. Let me explain why I think he's going to come 14th position. I just think he has a great car. With AlphaTauri, they're just one of those cars which are good enough to be the bottom of, are just not right there yet to get to the top, to get 10 and above. And I think with Yuki Tsunoda, I think him having a great car in AlphaTauri to beat all the Williams, the As and the Alfa Romeo, it's just going to be easy for him. I think he ain't going to be good enough to get to the top. I just think 14th position seems right for him. And in 13th position, I'm going with Pierre Gasly. Yes, Pierre Gasly had a great year last year. Yes, him winning the Imola Grand Prix and all the AlphaTauri boys jumping up and down. But I just said the AlphaTauri car is just not fast enough to catch up to the Alpines, McLarens, the Ferraris. He's just not fast enough, and I think he's gonna have a great season, but I just think the car is just built for 13th position, and I think him going to the 13th position seems right. I think if he was in any other team, he could actually come above, but I just think 13th position seems right for Pierre Gasly this year.
So who do I think is going to come 12th position in the driver standings? I think it's going to be Fernando Alonso. Yes, I know we're thinking, what, Fernando Alonso, the former two-time champion? You are crazy. Let me explain why I think Fernando Alonso is coming 12th position. With Fernando Alonso, he's just not been the same. Like, he's gone out of Formula 1 for like, what, nearly 3 years now. I'm trying to come back. And I just think he's a bit too rusty and he's old and he's just not the same driver as he used to be. The McLaren driver, Fernando Alonso, I will take any day. But he's just not the same. I just think 12th position seems right. I think he's going to struggle. It ain't going to be easy for him this year.
So who do I think is going to come in 11th position? In 11th position, I'm going with Esteban Ocon. I understand, yeah, Esteban Ocon's a great driver. He has great potential, but I just think that Alpine caused the car, which is holding him back. Yes, they've looked great in pre-season testing, but Danny Ricciardo, who's such an experienced driver in F1, he struggled with that last year's Renault car, and Renault is basically changed the name to Alpine this year. And I think Esteban Ocon, he's going to get a podium this year, but I just think the car's not good enough to catch up to the Ferraris, the McLarens, Red Bulls, the Aston Martins, the Mercedes. And I just think 11th position seems right. I think he's just going to get top 10, but he's creeping up, but he's just not going to be close enough.
10th position this year in the driver standings. I think it's going to be Carlos Sainz. Let me explain. I think Carlos Sainz coming 10th position. I think Carlos Sainz had a great year with McLaren, but this year I think the Ferrari car is not good enough. Last year the Ferrari car was utter shite. Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel did their best trying to get any points for Ferrari, but this year they've actually rendered a few issues in the engine, but they put all the skills and development towards the engines.
So who do I think is going to come in 9th position? In 9th position, I'm going with Sebastian Vettel. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, guys. What? Sebastian Vettel is such a big achiever of the sport. Like, he's done so much for Formula 1. He's won 4 titles in a row. Yes, I understand that, but ever since he's gone to Ferrari, he hasn't been the same man. Like, he just seems so depressed now. He doesn't seem happy anymore. And I just think he started a new year in Aston Martin Racing, and I think his experience is going to help them great. I think his experience and his wisdom is going to help Lance Stroll significantly. But as a driver, I just think he's a bit washed up. I just think his time has just come to an end, and I just think 9th position seems right for Sebastian Vettel.
Who do I think is coming in 8th position? In 8th position, I think it's going to be Lance Stroll. I think Lance Stroll is a great driver, but he's just a bit too inconsistent. Lance Stroll, like, one day he's getting podiums, he's killing qualifying, he gets a fast lap, he gets all the extra points, but the next week he comes 10th, like bottom 10. Like, that's what you get Lance Stroll. The inconsistency is just going to affect Aston Martin Racing, and I just think 8th position seems right for Lance Stroll. So guys, who do I think is coming in 7th position? In 7th position, I'm going with Charles Lipperleck. I think Charles Leclerc is a great talented driver. With Charles Leclerc in his first and second season, when Ferrari were actually doing some bits, he was great for them. He got great on podiums, good amount of constructors points for them. But I just think last season, even though the Ferrari was so bad, the engine failures, the failures upon failures they had, he tried his best. And I think this year, them improving the engine modes, he's going to get the best out of the Ferrari machine. And I would have put him higher, but I think the Ferrari machine, they haven't put enough testing points into aerodynamics or other sectors of the car, and I just think that's going to affect them. And I think 7th position seems right for Charles Leclerc. As who do I think is going to come in 6th and 5th position? Let's start with 6th position. In 6th position, I think it's going to be Landon Norris. I think Landon Norris is a great driver. I think he's only 20 years old, guys. He's done so much in the last year for McLaren. The way he went from I think 6th position to 3rd position, where he ran through all the man in the last corner of, I forgot what Grand Prix. That was great. And I think him having Danny Ricciardo under his wing is going to be so good, because he can get so much words of wisdom. And I think this is going to be good competition for McLaren. I think Landon Norris is going to feed off very well from Danny Ricciardo. And I think 6th position seems right. Let's move on to 5th position. In 5th position, I'm going with Danny Ricciardo. Danny Ricciardo is such a great driver. In 2016, he could have nearly won the driver standings. Red Bull fucked up the pit lane, where there was a pit lane error, and there was that crash with Max Verstappen in Azerbaijan, which fucked them up. But I think Danny Ricciardo did so well for Renault last year, and I think the Renault car is nowhere close to the McLaren car. I think McLaren have done so well to put the right points into the right aspects of the car, and I think Danny Ricciardo is going to get so many crucial constructor points. He's just not strong enough to catch up top 4 to the 1st position, and I think 5th position seems right for Danny Ricciardo. Who do I think is coming in 4th position? In 4th position, I'm going with Sergio Perez. I think Sergio Perez is another great talented driver. Last year, he was the 2nd driver for Racing Point, and even then, he outdone Lance Stroll. And Lance Stroll has the daddy money. The daddy money should have actually got him more better podiums, but forget that. But with Sergio Perez, I'm telling you, he's going to be such tough competition for Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen doesn't feed well towards competition. In his first season, when he was against Danny Ricciardo, he didn't like that. He wants to be the number 1 of the team, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think this year Sergio Perez is going to give a run for his money, and I just think Sergio Perez is not, the Red Bull car is not fast enough to catch up to the Mercedes car, and I think 4th position seems right for the Chico Sergio Perez. So who do I think is coming in 3rd position? In 3rd position, I'm going with Valtteri Bottas. I think this is a disappointment position for Valtteri Bottas. Even last year, I think he came 2nd, but even then he was so far away from Lewis Hamilton, and I think Valtteri Bottas should be coming 2nd. He should be winning the championship. So who do I think is going to come 2nd position position this year and just miss out on winning the driver standings, I think it's going to be Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is going to come second position. I love Max. I don't like Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen's a really great driver. He's great young talent. I think for sure in the future he's going to win a drivers championship. But I just think this year is not going to be his year. I just think with Max Verstappen, sometimes he tries a bit too much, and sometimes in corners where you shouldn't overtake and shouldn't try too much, that's what he does. And many people think he's a reckless driver. I think he's going to kill someone one day. Like last year, what happened to Roman Grosjean, and Roman Grosjean survived. God bless, he survived. This year, I think Max Verstappen is just going to cause so many crashes, or he's just going to be trying too much. And I just think that's what's going to cause him from not winning the driver standings this year. Him trying to be too clever, or him trying to try too much in corners, is just going to cost him. And that's why I think Max Verstappen is coming second this year. So who do I think is going to get first position? In first position, I think it's going to be Lewis Hamilton. I think Lewis Hamilton is such a good driver. And then when you pair up with such a great team with Mercedes, it's just like a match made in heaven. Like, let's start with Mercedes. Mercedes, what they've done in the last 10 years has been unreal. Winning the constructor standings last, 7 years in a row has been so good. And what Toto Wolff has done, getting the right engineers, getting everything right from the car, from everything from tires to engine modes, has been unreal. And then when you put that with Lewis Hamilton, like, that's a team which has been unstoppable. And I think that's just going to be the same this year, because the financial rules ain't going to come into effect until 2022. So many teams are bringing the car over from 2020 season to the 2021 season. And I think last year that Mercedes was so OP, no one could catch up to them until the last race of the season where Max Verstappen catched up, but no one cared about that. But I think this year it's just going to be the same. It's going to be a deja vu of the 2020 season, and that's why I think Lewis Hamilton is going to come first position in the standings. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I understand your predictions might not be the same to mine, but please comment who do you think is going to win the 2021 season. Please like and subscribe. And there's going to be so much more F1 content on this channel. I will see you later.